Hello, and welcome to my analysis of Sadko in the Underwater Kingdom, a painting made by Ilya Yefimovic Repin. First, we're going to start talking about Ilya Repin, the artist. In 1844, he was born in the Russian Empire. Then, with only 12 years old, in 1856, Repin starts painting. In 1864, he gets into the Imperial Academy of Arts in Russia. His most notable work there is Barge Howlers on the Volga, made in 1873. Now, we are going to talk about the painting Sadko in the Underwater Kingdom, that is an oil on canvas that represents the religious mythological story of Sadko. The painting organization can be described as simple, with ordered actions happening at the same time, but clearly differentiated between them. In the painting, there is not a marked symmetry, but we can see that the elements are organized making an X form. There, the center concentrates the most crowded action, and on the background we can see the empty space of the ocean. On the right picture, we can see that two simultaneous actions are happening. The first one is the women entourage in the middle of the scene, highlighted with bright colors. The other action we can see is the one happening between the top left-hand corner woman and the principal character, Sadko, standing on the right of the picture. In the entourage, we can see 5 women that the author want us to watch, and then, on the background, we can also see broad people. They are more women that will pass in front of Sadko. That is made thanks to the composition of the painting. As we can see, there is a marked cross that organizes the canvas. On the left-right, we have the cross emphasized by the two characters' gaze. Sadko is looking at the ugly girl, and the ugly princess is looking at him. So that makes an invisible line for the viewer. As you can see, is the blue one. The other part of the cross is found where the entourage is. In this case, the girls come from the middle of the canvas, but when they reach Sadko, they turn to the bottom left-hand corner, crossing with the two characters looking at each other, as you can see with the red line. On the top left-hand corner, there's a lonely woman looking at Sadko, dressed as a farmer, or at least not as luxurious as the rest of the entourage women. She is standing on top of a fantasy-like architecture. Under this girl, the entourage is passing in front of Sadko, and all the women are looking at him, because all of them want to be chosen by Sadko to get married, as we can see in the center picture. They are not women at all, because they are part of the Underwater Kingdom, so some of them are sirens, half fish, half women. On the other hand, we have Sadko standing on the right, looking at the top left-hand corner girl instead of the entourage. That is because he's thinking about what to do. The story tells us that to calm the anger of the underwater Tsar, Sadko must marry one of his daughters, but Saint Nicholas told him that the princess he should marry was the ugliest one. He's dressed with a typical Russian or Eastern hat and what seems to be luxurious merchant clothes. That's because in the story, Sadko was a Russian merchant that got rich playing guzli, which is a Russian multi-string instrument for the underwater Tsar. While these actions are happening, we can see the ocean's wildlife around the courtship. 3 fishes and a jellyfish are on the top right-hand corner of the picture, with some seaweed too. On the ground, we can see a locust, some shells, a starfish, and a coral. The line in this picture is really marked because of the academicist art and the rules they set, so we can see the outline of the characters in a very clear way. On the other hand, the figures at the background are not as defined as the principal characters. Instead of that, they are smoothly painted, nearly combined with the ocean's background, with just little bright details to represent the luxury, but in that part is where the chiaroscuro is more used by the painter. When we see this picture, we can see the deep ocean, a deep perspective created by the artist, just with color to make the illusion of a three-dimensional space. Also, the scale of the figures is life-size, except the characters painting in the distance, made smaller to create that perspective before mentioned. The color as we said before, creates perspective, but is also used to concentrate the viewer on a special part of the painting. In the middle of the image, where the entourage is walking, Elijah used very shiny colors such as yellow, oranges, reds, and light blues to give us a spotlight to pay attention. That is made because the artist wants us to be inside Sadko's head, who is tempted by the pretty daughters of the Tsar, but needing of marry the ugly one to calm down the Tsar's anger and to please Saint Nicholas at the same time. Back on the colors, the rest of the painting is made in a blue-green hue. The color of the water, with lot of dark blues to symbolize that the ocean's mystery and to give the viewer an open story, so we cannot see the end of the entourage, but we can imagine that it comes from an underwater palace or from some fantasy place. The artist used browns and reds to represent the ocean's sandy floor and animals there. The colors make the viewer feel in a calm because no drama is happening, and the movement of the entourage seems to be slow and pacified. And at the same time, it creates a very good underwater atmosphere because we can see what is happening next to the action, but not what surrounds it. Also, the lonely girl on the left is in a part of the painting that hasn't got many details, and that might represent the loneliness of the girl, without luxury or exotic sea animals around her. The middle of the painting is really crowded by people and animals, and so is the bottom of the sea, full of sand, sea fauna and bubbles. This is a contrast with the upper part of the painting, which is dark, empty and only highlighted with a small bright area on top right hand corner to represent the light entering into the water. And that's all. I hope you enjoyed that and you learned a little about this painting. Thanks for watching.